I'm John Leonard. I'm a corporate lawyer in Denver, Colorado with Fairfield and Woods. We have a set of videos for our clients, for people who are interested in the law, especially as it applies to business people. Today, we get to talk to one of my partners, Paul Yonda. He's one of the litigators I work with. We're just talking generally about litigation, what it is, how it's commenced, if you're a defendant, what to do. And then we're going to have other videos with Paul talking about mediation, talking about how to settle a case, arbitration. But right now we're in the middle of talking about litigation. So on the prior video, we talked about what litigation is and how it's commenced. If you want to know what to do when somebody hands you a summons to go to court, look at the prior video. But let's just pick up where we left off. If someone's handed a summons and a complaint, we talk about that in the first video, then what happens typically in litigation, there's a process, I guess, with discovery and other things. Tell us a little bit about the process in litigation.
Right. So first of all, you get that summons and that complaint. The most important thing to do is not ignore it. You might disagree with everything that's said in there, but you've only got 21 days to respond, or you're in default. You can potentially be found to have admitted all those things as a matter of law. So you can lose the dispute just outright. And the important thing to know is that there are a lot of things that are very difficult to undo. So we want to sort of not start off on the back foot. So reach out to a lawyer, and the deadlines, that 21 days to respond, often you can get an extension if you just ask the other side in the right way. But if you don't, it's a big problem. So your response to the complaint's often going to be a denial of many of the facts. And maybe you're asserting a bunch of counterclaims. Maybe the other side said you breached this agreement, and your response is going to come back and counterclaim, no, you breached it first in this other way, and
Sure.
You owe me money because. And so those are the pleadings, the complaint, and what we call the answer to the complaint. And after that, the lawsuit goes through this big process that we call discovery. So first of all, you talk to the judge and you get a case management order that sort of lays out a schedule. And here in Colorado, it's a lot different from other states in that most of the time, we're going to have a trial date in about a year from the time the complaint's served.
Really?
Some other states could be much longer, and you might only get a trial if you ask for it. Here, you're going to have about a year, and you're going to start asking each other questions in the process that's called discovery, which is a lot of the work we do, so giving written questions to the other side. You might sit down for a deposition in a room like this, and this doesn't feel too much like that, don't worry, but you're under oath answering questions, all that because in the civil world, we really want to try and eliminate surprises before trial. So we all know what the facts are, and we're really teeing up the disputes in a narrow way for the judge or jury.
Now, in discovery, you mentioned questions, and those could be oral or written. What are the written ones called?
Interrogatories, they're called, and often they're requests for production as well. So you're asking the other side to show you all the documents they have related to a certain thing. You can request that they admit facts, and all of that falls under the banner of what we call written discovery, and that process can consume a few months. Often along with that, we're doing depositions as well, which is one side is asking the other side's party or witness questions under oath, and it's recorded by a court reporter, just like you'd see on TV doing the stenographic stuff or via video means.
Now, if I'm there, my lawyer's there, the lawyer just can't ask me questions. My lawyer will be there.
Your lawyer will, in fact, be there, John.
All right.
John, have you ever been to those? I shouldn't go the other way. But yeah, that's also the important thing about having a lawyer you trust, because you might not need to answer all the questions, but you won't know that if your lawyer's not there with you.
All right. So we've covered in the first videotape how a lawsuit started. We just talked about discovery. Let's do a third that talks about the actual trial and how things are wrapped up in enforcement of the judgment. So
Sure.
We'll put that up in the next video. So this is a series of 3 videos, very general, on how a lawsuit works. And we'll pick it up on a third video in a few minutes.